Alrighty, g'day guys, welcome to a game of Legion TD. I guess it's not on anything, it's just on Battle.net, it's a public game. It's PR, as you can see, and yeah man, why don't we use a unit that we basically always stay away from? Let's go for the Knight. So, I think Knight is pretty fucking terrible. I think it's one of the weakest units. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just pretty bad, to be honest. Sorry, Knight. Like, it's rough, but I think this unit's relatively bad. So what's wrong with Knight? It's pretty quick, so it walks a lot, which is not really a good thing. So it has a hard time damage sharing with units around it. It one-shots level 1, 2, and 3, so it's nice. It's not too bad on those levels. So it's got a decent first 3 levels, that's pretty good. It doesn't one-shot 4, so its damage increment isn't great on 4. So it needs a little bit of help there. But, you know, it's not terrible on 4. It's got the 180 range, it's got fast movement speed, so it does move around. And issues with Knight, level 5? Really bad level 5. Like, Knight unupgraded, seriously god-awful on 5. Cavalier's okay, still somewhat... I don't want to say fragile, because that's, like, not a word that you associate with Cavalier. But it's not overly tanky, but at least the Cavalier does one-shot level 5. But you feel pretty locked into Cavalier on 5. Which is unfortunate, because if you compare Knight to units of itself, let's compare it to Grizzly, because I think you can make the comparison just in the sense that it's like, hey, you build a Grizzly or upgrade it to Grey Mana level 5, that's like kind of what you do. Fortunate thing about the Cavalier is, and the Knight, is that's a lot more gold. It's 20 more gold for the Knight and 15 more gold for the Cavalier. So that's 35 gold, that's a wisp. I mean, it's not, but it's close to a wisp, right? And that's, like, that's painful. I didn't actually do that, otherwise I might have wanted a novice. Oh, I'll just do it with the sprite. But yeah, so you lose close to a wisp, like, per Cavalier, compared to a Greymane, right? Which is, like, certainly relevant. It's especially when you're going with something that's not, like, doesn't give you particularly good push anyway, because it's 420 gold for just this one unit that absolutely needs help on 5. For context, 1 Cavalier and 2 Knights Sleeks on 5. If you're thinking of like the triple Alchemist 1 Blaster or double Alchemist 1 Blaster build on 5, like as a comparison, yeah, it doesn't compare favorably. Right, this is good at least. Again, undead. Just a privateer, probably just a privateer. So yeah, it's problematic on 5. It doesn't one-shot level 6 like Greymane does, so... While Cavalier, I'm not gonna disrespect it and say it's a bad unit on 6. It's certainly not like a solo hold where you can just switch your brain off. And it'll always work. It is absolutely not that. Well, they need +1 in law. Unlucky for them, I guess. I'm gonna try the privateer in front for the damage share. Cavalier doesn't walk quite as much, though, so this is probably not a good idea. Probably like here is actually best. Protect the sprite a bit, because I don't want the sprite getting sniped on 5. It should be like okay. I want the monk, but I can't afford the monk, so say Levy. Yeah, it doesn't quite one-shot on 6. What it does have is it's really good on 8, one-shots level 8. That is a very nice thing. It also doesn't have the like increment problems of Blaster, because it one-shots 5 through Ferb, 2-shots 7 through Ferb. Oh, that's interesting. I wouldn't send either. Bit of fun for sure. It doesn't matter that I get a roll full of units I don't want to build here, because the intention at the moment is just to upgrade the Cavalier on 5 anyway. So it doesn't matter. As you can see, Knight, as I said, pretty good on 3. It's funny, now I've like done this little talk about Knight. Like, is it even a bad unit? Like, I feel like I didn't make it sound that bad. But no, I will say the other thing that's not too wonderful about Cavalier is its damage output. It's like, its DPS is pretty low. I think its overall DPS, like, yes, it doesn't have the increment problems of Blaster, but its overall DPS of all those sorts of units, I believe it's the lowest. It has the hardened armor ability, which actually, I think it's like a chance to reduce damage. Fuck Abraham, yep, agree. I don't know if I should have said that actually, because I don't know what it is, so maybe I've just said something horrendously racist. That's possible. Oh well. What can you do, I guess? Lost my train of thought. So yeah, it does have the hardened armor, which I believe is a 30% chance to reduce damage by a flat amount. Once I click this button and it goes through, I'll see what that does. Because honestly, it's been so long since I built a Cavalier that I've kind of forgotten. So it's tanky, but it doesn't have like the overclocker blaster for the damage, the raw plus just like higher DPS stats of Greymane. What are the other units like that? I don't think comparing it to Harlot is really fair. Okay, look, I'm supposed to go like double spear militia here, but I'm gonna just stick with the Cavalier. I'm gonna stick with the Cavalier because that's what we're doing. As you can see, it doesn't one-shot 4, which, you know, and it's like somewhat fragile, right? It's definitely not super tanky as a unit. Like, for example, the Alchemist has more hit points than the Knight. Which is, yeah, actually that's a really unfavorable comparison for Knight. Because Alchemist has a hell of a lot of attack speed. Admittedly, Knight has better increments. It doesn't have the painful level 4 light armor, but still a little bit unfortunate. I actually realize Alchemist has more health than Knight. That just feels bad for Knight, man. Like, I don't know what to say. Please don't die. Okay, nice. It's not gonna die. Nice heal from the medicine man of the guy who just left. Okay. Good. Oh, I can't do 2 militia anyway. It's PR. Of course. Hardened armor. 30% chance, I was right, to reduce damage taken by 50 every time this unit is attacked. Right, so maybe that's something why, like, on Cavalier and 2 Knights just leak sometimes if this doesn't proc. Ugh. Yucky. Don't like RNG. Well, I mean, if I really didn't like RNG, I'd play a different fucking game. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, overall I'd say like Cavalier is not too bad, but it's definitely like very frontline leaning, which I don't think helps it when you're comparing it to like when it costs so much. I just feel like early on you need more output from a unit that's this expensive. You see, like it's still I'm trying to not say fucking awful, but it's still fucking awful on 5. Like, this is 700 value. Leaking 1, 2, 3, 4. Leaking 15 creeps. And like, is the privateer and the sprite a massive amount of help? Not really, but I promise you, if you put a Greymane in the same setup, I'm not going to promise you it holds, but I'm going to promise you it doesn't leak 15 creeps. So what we might do after this game ends is go to debug and just run it with a Greymane. And like, I realize that Cavalier's not necessarily meant to be like strong on 5, but if you compare it to Greymane, it's like they both one-shot and they both have heavy armor. Like Greymane gets some defensive stats from the armor boost from its raw. Cavalier has this ability which presumably works. I assume it works, like I don't fucking know. So I think they're a pretty comparable unit. So yeah, I'm happy to do the this guy hasn't found the wisp button. That's kind of awkward. So yeah, I feel like Greymane is a pretty easy unit to compare it to. Also, if Thornmail, so we're just gonna like die, right? It's probably a good thing though. As you can see, misses the one shot on 6, which is not like heinous, and it's obviously better on 6 just because it isn't nearly as fragile. But I wouldn't really say it's getting through these creeps particularly effectively, would you? I certainly wouldn't. Once again, it's 825 value. So not an insane amount, but like a lot more than nothing. He sent a whelp, I'm gonna send a whelp as well. Yeah, not a big fan of Knight slash Cavalier as a unit. Really not. I even for like 12-14 where it feels like it's supposed to be good, I've always thought it feels not that great. Also, that's a big send. That is Blood Orc, Firma Whelp. Yeah, this is, let's see how the 1-0 guy does, who saved 300 gold here. That's awkward. Okay, so 1-0 guy who does a lot worse than 1-0 guy who doesn't save 300-ish gold. Fair enough, I mean, that makes sense. Okay, Ace Legion, you got this. Let's go, Ace Legion. Do we, do we blame Ibrahim again? I think we'd probably blame Ibrahim again, that seems reasonable. Okay, he wants to keep playing, so we'll... I guess it's a race, actually. Wait, it's unironically a race. That's hilarious. Oh, they sent a chariot. That must be a race tech. That's sick. Yeah, look, only having 2 people to upgrade the king is not a helpful thing in a race. Although, like, low-key Thorn might be better than Stomp if we had, like, 3-4 more HP upgrades. Just because overall it deals more damage, even though it doesn't have the utility of a stun or anything. I can see almost knocked all these creeps down. Like, a few more HP upgrades we can survive, and maybe they'd die? I don't know. Maybe. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, that'll be that. Sorry. And what we'll hopefully do is jump into debug. And just check out how Greymane does with that same setup. And I'm gonna do it, like, Privateer's gonna be a little less buffed. Which is something. As this menu doesn't lag at all. Oh my god. Come here. Where's my Legion TD? That one? That one. I reinstalled Warcraft not all that long ago, so I don't have a lot of the maps I used to have, which is a good thing, to be honest. You know, just taking up less space. I bought a hard drive a little while ago, just why I reinstalled it, just to move it over the hard drive. Which is nice, because I was starting to have some, like, space concerns, because it's just a laptop, right? Eventually, just the OS and accumulated garbage from, like, updates and that over time, even with cleaning out the disk and that. Eventually that starts to, like, accumulate, and suddenly there's not a lot of space anymore. Gotta admit, I do like this art. It's pretty sick when you compare it to the old versions. They did a really nice job with this. It's got that like grimdark kind of vibe, I guess. Just the rest of the map doesn't necessarily have, I guess. Anyway. AP debugged. Yeah. Ah. Straight. Okay. Hang on. I did something wrong. What did I do? Right, AP too early, maybe? Or is it dash debug dash AP? No, it's dash AP. I think. Whatever. We'll figure it out. Basically, if you start with the profit and not the like race picker, you fucked up. Alright, give me another hot minute, sorry. You'd think I'd have this down to an art by now, but not really. There we go. Okay, so what did we have? We had a knight. Is that an paladin is my guess? Hey. Yeah, let's actually build it on the wall, Is that elf is the next one we're looking for? No, nature. And then pirate. So we'll just we'll retest this in debug just for the sake of fairness, I guess. No privateer buffs. Not going to worry about spawn all. Okay, so level 5, 675 value. This is what I had, right? I believe this is exactly what I had last time. I had a peasant mine. Okay, let's just do it without the peasant. $14 this time. I think we can say, like, fair enough. It's always going to do that-ish. Where's demi-human? Beast. Beast. Beast is the first one. Okay, so 14, 15 creeps with the Cavalier. See how the Grey Man does. Again, no privateer buffs. Potentially having some impact, because my privateer had buffs from 4. I guess only 4 is not that big a deal. So yeah, let's see how the Grey Man does. Not perfect, but 35 less value and half the number of lakes. So that's just kind of the point I'm wanting to make in terms of Cavalier as an early unit. And the thing is, I just don't think there's any justification for it actually getting better compared to other units of its ilk in the mid-game. I think it is unfortunately just a weak unit, which is a bit of a shame. I think Knight is not very good, and I think Cavalier is just as bad, if not worse. Yeah, let's stay away from this unit. Oh my god, my king has 200 HP. Wait, I'm dead. I'm dead to 7 birds. That's hilarious. Right. Cheers very much for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Like, subscribe, all of that, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.